Hey guys, December 19th, 2025. I'm going to try and make this short, but it's necessary that I make this video. And some of the guys, maybe all the guys, I don't know, uh, from the Arizona 4 will post up some follow up videos behind this. Because we're all in agreement on this, just to get that out in the open first. We have separated ways from Chuck Jacobs about a year and a half ago because of, just disagreements. And that's the easiest way to put it. Over a period of time, basically since he started his YouTube channel, he was more interested in getting content up, I guess, than anything else, and getting followers and views, and really interested in the algorithms. And I think that, my personal opinion is that's when things started to shift with Chuck. And it just kept building up and kept building up, and until I believe it was September of 23, up at Hilltop, things kind of came to a head. And I have a video that I did during that trip that more than likely I'm going to post up. It's a longer video. It's about 26 and a half minutes long, but it explains a lot of why we had distanced ourselves from Chuck Jacobs. And we all love Chuck. Chuck was our brother, but it became a thing that we just couldn't involve ourselves with anymore, as far as his beliefs of what was going on with the forest people versus the actuality of events and experiences that we were having out in the wilderness. He just went his own way. I mean, I've sat down, I've had two heart-to-heart conversations with him, and it's pretty much a one-way conversation. But because of some of the things that had happened on this particular trip, it's we were looking for some accountability and some apologies. Not so much to myself, but to some of the others in the crew. And so as I post this next video, it may not be today, maybe later tonight, we'll see. But this was done, a year and a half ago up on site, and I've just been sitting on it because, I don't want to say anything disparaging or unheartedly about or to Chuck, because I love Chuck. Chuck and I spent a lot of time out in the woods. I'd be out there for 2-3 weeks at a time, and he'd come out for 3-4 nights during that. And and this was a repetitive thing over the years, and so he has spent a lot of time out in the forest with me, and everything mirrored, and my humble opinion is when he started his YouTube channel, he just started to drift off out into outfield, and it was his beliefs and our experiences didn't coincide with each other. So with that being said, the Arizona 4 is Rob Copeland, Wayne Dillon, Chris Kramer, and myself, Kevin Keeney. Also of Arizona Squatch. That's my other old / whatever YouTube channel. But the Arizona 4 is just us. Chuck is no longer with us. We do not agree with Chuck. We do not believe Chuck is heading down the right road with this. Some of the some of the ideas that he's coming up with, I just, for the life of me, can't understand where he's getting them from. What is the way I want to put this? Well, I'll put it exactly what he told me in a conversation, is that the voices he hears in his head, he chooses to believe is the forest people. And, I can take a little bit of ownership of that, because when all this first started, and I was explaining to him that I think I'm getting this mind speak, and he's asking, well, how do you get it? And, at that point in time, what I said to him was, it's kind of like a voice in your head or a thought in your head that's not your own. And, I'm trying to understand how all this works. And I was trying to, try to put it into a way that, maybe he might understand it. And he just really wanted to have the same relationship with the forest people that at that time that I had developed. And he just never got the mind speak. He would ask questions and I would get some information, not every time, and most of the times it wasn't very clear. It's kind of trying to decipher it. So he never really got the mind speak. And then all of a sudden, he's getting it at home, and he's getting it, in his bedroom in the middle of the night, and, what have you. So be it. I mean, I've had a couple of communications at home, and so I'm not going to say it's not, that it's impossible, but, it's highly suspect that when you're out with the forest people and you have the forest people all around you and you're not getting anything, but when you're sitting in your house and you're getting it, it's highly suspect, And so with, our sit downs and having these conversations with him, that Chuck, I'm very concerned about who it is you may actually be hearing, if you're hearing anything at all. And he says, well, it's just what I choose to believe. And, so I left it at that. And, I haven't seen him. I haven't spoke to him since that last conversation. And, I still love him. It's, when I call somebody my brother, it takes a lot for that to get canceled out. But with that being said, with some of the things that he's come up with recently, I finally, or actually we, as the Arizona 4, been talking, and it's time to make sure that everybody out there understands that we are distanced from Chuck Jacobs, that he is not part of the Arizona 4, and that's it in a nutshell. So most likely later this afternoon or tomorrow, I will get this second video from 1.5 years posted up, and it will give you a clearer picture on what's gone on and why Chuck Jacobs is no longer part of the Arizona 4. But with that being said, I love each and every one of you. I thank each and every one of you for taking your time to listen. And I ask that you please be good to yourselves, be good to those around you, pay close attention to your surroundings, and be safe. Peace out.